This is day 1 of my fat loss journey, and this is day 100. I've lost 40 pounds in that time frame. And I had massive back gains without killing myself in the gym, just focused, minimal training, and let me show you exactly how I did it. Before even starting this transformation, I knew I needed to have a plan. I was working part-time at a desk job while also being a third-year sports and exercise science student. Therefore, I created a plan that followed these simple 3 rules. The training session couldn't be too long, it needed to be simple, and most importantly, it needed to be easy to follow. I didn't want to split that looked good on paper. I wanted something sustainable, something that I could follow without overthinking, and that would still deliver serious results. So I built my week around a hybrid of upper, lower, and push-pull legs. That gave me 2 quality back days per week, one on my upper day and one on my pull day. One that was balanced, and one that was focused. On my upper body days, I trained like this: overhead military press, lat pull down, cable row, cable chest fly, then finish with some biceps and triceps to round it out. I try to hit around 12 reps on my back exercises, focusing on form and progressive overload throughout the weeks. I wanted to build up a base that would increase strength while also maximizing hypertrophy. Then on pull day we went deeper. Pull-ups, adding 1 rep per week, lat pull down again but heavier, cable rows for depth, and barbell or dumbbell curls to finish. This allowed me to focus more on strength, where rep ranges were around 6 to 10 with emphasis on progressive overload. More details about my progressive overload strategy to pretty much guarantee gains coming later in the video. But here's where it gets interesting. Remember when I told you previously in the video that I didn't really have time? Here's where science comes in. I looked into the minimum effective dose, specifically for intermediate lifters like me, and what I found is that you only really need 10 to 12 quality sets per muscle group per week to grow. That's if intensity's there. So I had that as a benchmark to beat while keeping my effort high, on form and on real progression. I wasn't chasing perfection, just consistency. 1 rep better, 1 plate heavier, that's progressive overload, and that's what worked. But before I show you the progressive overload strategy that guarantees back gains, let me give you the 3 rules that made it possible. Number 1, use lifting aids. I use VersaGrips, and if I'm being honest, they're a complete game changer. Most people fail their grip before they even fail their back, especially on big lifts like rows, pull-ups, and lat pull-downs. And when that happens, your back stops growing. Lifting aids solve that instantly. They let you hold heavier loads for longer without turning your forearms into a weak link. Unlike straps, you don't have to crocodile roll on your way into every set. You just hook and go, no slips, no stress. And while other gear runs out, these things are built to last. I've had mine for months and they still feel brand new. And here's the science. When you're not worried about your grip, you recruit more muscle fibers in your lats and rhomboids. That leads to stronger contractions, better mind-muscle connection, and ultimately more growth where it matters. If you're serious about building a strong, defined back, VersaGrips are non-negotiable. Second, warm up properly. Don't skip it, don't fake it. This is more important than most people think. I'd hit the treadmill for 2 to 5 minutes, not to burn calories, but to get my core temperature up and increase my skeletal muscle activation. You want to hit around 110 to 130 beats per minute, enough to raise your heart rate, but not to leave you gassed. When your muscles are cold, their contractile force is limited, but when they're properly warmed up, studies have shown that you can increase up to 20% in strength output. That's more weight lifted, better muscle activation, and safer joints, all for a better warm-up. If you don't have a Fitbit, you can use the built-in sensors on the treadmill to calculate your heart rate. Once it's around 130 beats per minute, you'd want to stay there for another 30 seconds before training. And finally, rest properly. I'm talking 60 to 90 seconds minimum between your real working sets.
What did I just draw?
Here's why. Muscle recovery between sets is a psychological requirement, not a preference. When you rest too little, your ATP stores don't recover, and that's what powers muscle contractions. No ATP, no power, it's that simple. If you're not resting under 30 seconds, you're not building strength. You're just doing cardio with weights. Studies show that 60 to 90 seconds of rest is the sweet spot for hypertrophy and strength in trained lifters. It allows your muscles to reset neurologically, not just physically. If your goal is progressive overload, rest is the hidden variable. Without it, your numbers stall, your reps collapse, you never truly push your limit. Real strength isn't just built in a set, it's built in the rest between. You're not resting with intention, you're not training, you're just moving. And now, as promised, I'm going to tell you the secret behind unavoidable gains, my progressive overload strategy dialed in with intentional rep ranges. I didn't train my back every day, just twice a week, but each day had a clear role. One day was high rep, 12 to 14, focused on hypertrophy, and the other was low rep, 6 to 8, aimed on strength. The reason this works, hypertrophy responds to volume and time under tension, strength demands load and recovery. By splitting the focus, I gave my back exactly what it needed without burning it out. Once I could hit the top end of the rep ranges easily, I'd increase the weight, even if it felt just outside my comfort zone. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is progressive overload. It's not magic, it's mechanics and discipline. When you apply the right tension consistently, the body adapts, muscle grows, and strength builds. And the trick, you don't guess your way through it. You track, you increase, you repeat. No fancy programs, no daily grinding, just clarity, consistency, and a little bit of patience. So to recap, I train back twice a week, hit all major angles, use tools that help me connect better, and focused on one thing above all, measurable progress. Every rep, every set, it was tracked. If I could do more, I did. If it got easy, I would add weight. That simple decision to push just beyond my comfort is what drove the change. You don't need more exercises, you need better execution. You need a system that you can repeat, and the mindset to show up. And if you've made it this far in the video, you're not just scrolling, you're serious. So if this helped, drop a like so it tells the YouTube algorithm it's worth showing. And if you're building something of your own, strength, discipline, or a new version of you, hit subscribe. We're just getting started together.
Oh my god, I'm so bad at drawing.